All right, so let us start the class, and we were doing this chapter, conservation of plants and animals. Right now, in this chapter, we are going to be learning about different things. Previously, we were learning about some important terminologies, like we learned what is an ecosystem, what is a biosphere, what is wildlife, etc. These simple things we learned previously. Today, we'll be learning about deforestation. What are the consequences of deforestation? Right now, what are the causes of deforestation? Getting it? And how deforestation is harming our planet Earth, and what are the mitigation steps we have taken so far. Mitigation steps basically means that what are the steps we have taken in order to reduce the damage, or in order to reverse the damage right now. So those are the things we'd be learning about today in today's class. So previously we learned about some basic things, like we learned about what is a biosphere as well. So we learned that it is a supporting zone of Earth. It supports the life. So it is basically comprised of the atmosphere, comprised of geosphere, or whether you call it as lithosphere, right? And geosphere, lithosphere, same thing, or hydrosphere. So it's a life supporting zone of the Earth where atmosphere, where a hydrosphere and the lithosphere interacts with each other and makes life possible on Earth. Right? And there isn't any other planet which has got such a combination of, like if you were to look at other planets, there you don't get to see such a life supporting zone where all the resources of the planet would be interacting with each other to make life possible right now. So that is a unique thing about Earth. Then we learned about biodiversity. So biodiversity, it simply refers to the different type of living organisms on Earth, whether it be plant, animals, whether it be microorganisms also. So all of them that are found on the Earth, that is referred to as wildlife. Getting it now? Or particularly like the organisms that are being domesticated at your home, they are not part of the wildlife, because wildlife are known to be living in their natural habitat, that is in their forest land, in their grasslands, or whether it be in the polar habitat, whether it be under the oceans. Getting it? So it's a number and variety of plants, animals, and other organisms that are living in an ecosystem. We learned about an ecosystem also, if you guys remember. Getting it? An organism, there's a group of that organism that becomes population. Then you have different populations interacting with each other, that makes a community, and there would be different communities in the nature, and that makes up an ecosystem. So biodiversity basically refers to the number, how many numbers of a particular plant species are there, what is the number of a particular animal. Right now it talks about number, and it talks about their variety also. Getting it? That are found to be living in an ecosystem in their natural environment. So it's a measure of the variety of organisms that would be existing. Also there would be different ecosystems on Earth. There could be different ecosystems on Earth. There would be a grassland ecosystem, there would be a forest ecosystem, there would be a desert ecosystem. Getting it? So biodiversity, it's a measure of the variety of organisms, and it exists in different ecosystem, obviously. And bio means simply life, diversity means variety. So in simple terms, we can understand that basically talks about variety in the life on Earth. Okay. And species is the fundamental unit by which we can measure biodiversity. The species is the fundamental unit by which we can measure biodiversity. Right? Like in a forest, for example, you look at this deer, for example, or elephant. There are different species of elephant also. There are different species of deer also. So while you would be talking about biodiversity, what is the smallest unit you will be talking about? Yes, Chakrika, Alif, Gauri. When we talk about biodiversity, the smallest unit of a biodiversity is the species of that
Species.
species, exactly, of that plant or of that animal, or whether it be a microorganism. Getting it now? So hope that was clear. Answer these two questions, then we'll be moving further. Yes. What does the first question says? Name the part of Earth which supports the biodiversity.
And the answer in chat box.
No, no, in the class only.
Is there is that water?
No,
Water.
Is biosphere?
it is biosphere, no? Not just water, like lithosphere is also there, biosphere is, lithosphere is there, hydrosphere is there, atmosphere is there. All three, these three spheres are interacting with each other and makes life possible. So it's the biosphere that makes it possible. The next question, although the next question we haven't discussed that one that much, but still try to answer the second one. Yes. Also, everyone turn your cameras on in the class. And if you have turned it on, good. Chikrika, Gauri, you guys also turned it on.
Sir, I don't think I can turn it on for some time.
Okay, okay. Question is that what is the major threat to survival of organism? There could be number of reasons, but what is the major threat to survival of organism? Yeah, think of this. What is the major threat to survival of organisms?
Sir, I'm not sure.
Okay, but still try to answer. There's one main reason. Like it's isn't it the climate change?
Sir, pollution.
Pollution is also one of the reasons. You can count
Sir,
climate
global warming?
global warming. That counts in climate change. That would be counted in climate change. Good,
Yes.
right now. There are number of reasons. There are so many threats to survival of organism because an organism requires habitat. Its habitat. It requires its natural place. Like a camel cannot survive in the polar regions, neither a polar bear can survive in a desert region. So their habitats are well suited to them. Their habitats are important for them. If their habitat is lost, so they will be at the threat of extinction. So it not just talks about one particular organism like humans or plants. It encompasses all the living organisms on Earth. So, what is the major threat to survival of an organism? It could be right now it's climate change. Right now it's climate change, but there are a number of other reasons also, like pollution, habitat loss, or for example, over exploitation of a certain species. For example, if certain species of animals are being killed at a large scale uh, in order to obtain like skin from them or to obtain skin or to obtain, like for example, a certain plant is being um, cut down at the largest scale. For example, a certain plant is cut down at a large scale in order to make some medicines or to make furnitures. So whenever a particular organism would be overexploited, right, that would also be a threat to its existence. Getting it, guys? What I'm trying to say. Or for example, if one population, or like if population of one species grows at an alarming rate, if there's an overpopulation of a particular organism, that will also lead to problems. For example, suddenly if the population of like deers were to increase in an ecosystem, it will disrupt the food change. The vegetation of that area will be grazed by the deers or by the other herbivores. So there are several threats to survival of an organism. It could be climate change, it is a pollution, it is habitat loss, it is overexploitation of a species, or it could be what do you say, overgrowth of a population. Right now, in some cases, if an alien species is introduced in an ecosystem, if an alien species, I'm not talking about an alien in terms means that a species that is not endemic to that area, meaning that, for example, in a given area A, B, C, and D, these are the different types of life organisms that are found in a given area. For example, let's say in some cases, what would happen if you were to introduce a new organism E in this area? This organism might lead to extinction or might lead to death of these organisms. Getting it? So if there's an introduction of alien species by humans, so that can also lead to that can also be a threat to survival of the living organisms of that area only. Getting it? What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Then let's understand about deforestation. You all would have studied about deforestation many times in your junior classes as well. So do tell me, what do you guys understand by the term deforestation? What does it mean?
Sir, cutting down trees,
Okay.
less raining,
Yes.
like
For
global warming.
see, that's a different thing. Right now, we are talking about deforestation. Deforestation simply means clearing down forest uh, and using that land for other purposes. Simply, the trees in the forest would be cut down. They would be used to make furniture. They would be used to make buildings. Will be used in factories. Uh, simply like for cultivation of crops. If you don't have sufficient land, so then you would be clearing down the forest. Suppose you want to do monoculture, like let's say you want to grow grapes on a land, but you don't have land. In a forest, you know that different species of plants are growing in a forest naturally. Let's say that you want to do monoculture, you want to grow a single type of crop. Monoculture is basically growth of a single type of crop. Let's say you want to grow grapes.
Uh,
So you, yes,
so but then we need a GO to do all of this, right?
we need,
A GO, government order.
yeah, of course you need government order, government be allowing you. Okay, now,
So
but
they
still,
will.
yes.
So they will be allowing to do all of this?
See, they will be allowing only if only in certain areas they would be allowing it. Also, whenever someone is cutting down the forest, in return, what they have to do, they have to either plant the same number of trees or plant more number of trees than what they have cut down. So there are different norms set by the government. Also, there are different laws set by the government. Like that, like you can cut down trees of that particular area only. Hmm. Also, they would be considering like if it will be if for example there are certain dense population of wildlife, wild organisms are found to be living in that area, wild animals are found to be living in that area, then it would be prohibited to cut down forest, cut down the trees of that area. So there are different laws and different norms set by the government. It's not like they can go to any area and start cutting down the trees. No, certain
Yes, sir.
laws and regulations have been made. After fulfilling several certain criterias only, they would be allowed to cut down the trees. Also, for example, if a tribal population is living in a forest, so from that area you can't cut down the trees, because tribal people, their livelihood is dependent upon the forest only. They don't have a markets, or they don't have factories or any other means in order to earn their livelihood. So that is the thing. So say for example, someone wants to do let's say monoculture. Basically, monoculture is a practice of growing single type of crop. So he would be cutting if it he is not having sufficient area of land, he would be cutting down the forest, and then he would be growing grapes or apples or sandalwood or any other crop in that area. So there are a number of reasons for which deforestation is being done. One such reason is procuring land for cultivation. Procuring meaning obtaining land for cultivation by cutting down the trees. or it would be building houses or factories, furnitures, right now. Or the most common reason could be obtaining wood as a fuel, obtaining fire. And deforestation would be having several consequences also. It is going to have several consequences on Earth, right now, the effect of which we all can feel today. We all can relate with this right now. As like you see, the temperature of the Earth is increasing day by day, year after year, month after month. The temperature is going to increase. So deforestation simply it's the clearing of forest by cutting down the trees found in a forest. Also, it's not like one or two trees are being cut down. If you cut down one or two trees, then it will not be called as deforestation. If you are cutting down large number of trees over a wide area, then it is called as deforestation, right now. So like you can see, a large area has been cut down here for wood. Getting it now. So they are also, you see, it would be leading to loss of habitat for many animals. It would be a loss of habitat for many animals. You know that many animals make their nest in the trees. Hmm? They would be making their nest in the trees. Huh? Like for example, some birds make nest on trees. So it would be a loss of habitat for them as well. Like common examples you have like sparrows are there, hummingbird are there, so many of them are there. Crows also make their nest in the trees. Dove is also there, etc. So causes of deforestation are as follows. They are being cleared down to convert them into agricultural land to feed the world's rising population. As the population of the world is increasing day by day, so thereby their demand is also increasing day by day. The food need of the world is increasing day by day. So trees would be cut down in order to procure land for agriculture. Further, it would be cut down to obtain timber, firewood, and cow ranching. Look at this long wood that you see over here. That is called as timber. Right now. So then you have this reason that trees are cut down for cow ranching. Getting it? Cow ranching. Anyone knows like what this cow ranching is? Cattle
No,
ranching
sir.
or
Uh,
cow ranching?
Feeding cow.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, feeding cow.
See, not feeding cow basically. A cattle ranching, like basically now, um, it is basically not particularly for feeding cows, I believe. The main reason for the cattle ranching is basically growing feed for cattle's, growing plants that would be used as a feed for the cattle's right now. So that is one such reason, although it's not the main reason, but it is also counted. Then slash and burn agriculture is also practiced, uh, known in India's northeastern state as Jhum cultivation. It has also contributed to deforestation. So first of all, let us understand what is slash and burn agriculture. See, when the crops are harvested, after that you would be seeing that some stems of the crops are still left on the ground. Right now, that is still there on the ground, and that has to be uprooted. So it's a time taking manual task, or either it can be done by use of machines also. But there are several poor farmers also, small land farmers are also there in India. So what they would be simply doing, they would simply burn down the forest. They will simply burn down this, not forest, I mean to say, simply burn down this land. Getting it? So they would be doing this. So that is one such thing. But here we are talking about deforestation. So in many cases, what they would be doing in order to procure land for agriculture, what they are going to do, they are going to simply burn the forest. They would simply burn the forest. All the trees would burn, and they would leave it for few weeks, a few months to few years, and then later on use it for agriculture. So just imagine this thing, that humans can go to this limit, that they would be simply burning the forest in order to procure land for agriculture. It is practiced in many parts of India, like it is practiced in northeastern states of India, and there it is called as jhum cultivation. That has also contributed to deforestation. For construction of houses and other structures are also wood is being used. Getting it? This wood that you see over here, it is being converted to these this shape that is called as timber. Right now, this is how timber is being produced. So this long wood is used to produce timber. It would be later on used for construction of houses, for making of furnitures, it would be used in factories, etc. Then there are natural reasons also for deforestation. Like forest fire is also one of the natural reasons. Forest fires could be there are several reasons for forest fire. It could either happen due to lightning, or it can happen due to human activities as well. Right now, so forest fires are also one of the causes of deforestation. Hope you guys are getting. So those were the
Sir,
causes of deforestation. Why it is happening? Yes, Alif.
sir, deforestation means that cutting down forest. Then how forest fire coming?
See, deforestation basically here it refers to kind of, it is basically means that clearing of forest. uh, Whenever trees and plants, when they are being lost, whenever we lose that, so that is called as deforestation. Majorly, the causes of deforestation are man-made activities. Right now, but in some cases, deforestation, that is basically clearing down the trees, cutting down the trees, or loss of the trees, it can happen due to natural causes also. Natural in forest fire is counted in the natural reasons for deforestation. Getting it? Although literally it means that
Sir,
cutting down the forest. Right now, but forest fire is also one such reason for loss of forest. That is the thing. Then let us understand, like, what are the consequences of um, uh, deforestation. What are the consequences? So consequences of deforestation are as follows. Like, you see that we know that plants are good absorbers of carbon dioxide gas. Plants are good absorbers of carbon dioxide gas, and you guys know that if there is increase in percentage of carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere, that would lead to increase in temperature of the earth's surface and earth's atmosphere, thereby leading to a phenomena called as global warming. So deforestation, obviously, it would lead to, first thing is that it would lead to increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, because if the number of plants are being decreased, thereby the percentage of carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere would be increasing now, right? Further, the temperature of earth would be increasing. Hmm. Another thing is that the level of groundwater will also lower down. It will also go down. Can anyone tell me why this will happen? Why the level of groundwater will go down? Yes, Chakrika, Gauri, Alif. Why
sir,
will that
because of
happen?
erosion.
No, erosion, that's a different thing. Deforestation will lead to erosion also. Okay, na. But why the level of groundwater will go down? See, you know that basically roots will be sucking up the water from the ground. Roots of the trees, they would be pulling water from the ground now, right? So thereby, like, you have a tree, for example, and in a forest you have thousands of trees. So the roots of these trees, they are pulling up the water from the ground. Say that this is the level of groundwater. You guys understand what is water table now?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
Groundwater.
So, water table is basically the level at which groundwater will be found. So see, this is your groundwater. These are the roots. So roots would be pulling the water. It would be pulling the water in the upward direction. These roots would be pulling the groundwater in the upward direction. Okay, na? So it kind of maintains a upward pull. Upward pull force is maintained by the roots. But now when you cut down these trees, what will be happening? The roots will die, the plant trees die, so simply the roots will also die. So there will be no upward pulling force acting on the water. There would be no upward pulling force acting on the water. So thereby water table will go down. The water table is going to go down. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
So ground level of groundwater will also lower down, right? Further, it would lead to several disturbances in the balance of nature. Like the we see balance in the percentage of carbon dioxide gas, nitrogen, oxygen in the atmosphere. That will also be disturbed. That will is also going to be getting disturbed. Further, it would lead to decrease in rainfall, isn't it? It is going to lead to decrease in rainfall because we know that transpiration takes place from the plant surfaces, from the leaf and stems of the plants. So if there are no plants, so thereby evaporation will also be less, transpiration will also be less, right? Also, it would lead to natural calamities also, like it would lead to drought, it would lead to floods. Hmm. So these are some of the consequences of deforestation. These are some of the consequences of deforestation. So one question I would like to ask from you guys: why would deforestation lead to an increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Answer this to me. Why would
so
deforestation? Mhm.
because the plants they contain carbon dioxide, right? So when they're burned, the carbon dioxide gas releases into the air.
See, the thing
So
is, Chikarika, see, that is not the main reason.
So can I tell?
Okay.
So like when we cut the trees, so as we know, like tree take carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So when we release like we take oxygen, release carbon dioxide. So there will be like no like no one to like take the carbon dioxide in and
Mm,
release oxygen, right? So
exactly.
oxygen will like decrease and carbon dioxide will increase.
Exactly. You know, very good. We know that plants photosynthesize. They do photosynthesis. So they would be using carbon dioxide gas in the process of photosynthesis and they release oxygen. Thereby, they are maintaining the atmospheric balance. They are maintaining the atmospheric balance, meaning that maintaining the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So now, if we are going to cut down the trees, if there is fewer trees, it means that less carbon dioxide gas will be getting recycled in this manner. Carbon dioxide is gas is kind of being recycled in this manner, no? Via photosynthesis. If there are fewer trees, it means that fewer carbon dioxide gas will be taken up by the plants because less amount of photosynthesis is being now done. Since less number of trees, less photosynthesis. So thereby, the presence of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would be increasing, right? And you guys already know that this thing that carbon dioxide gas, it traps the heat of sunlight. No, it traps heat rays right now. You know that this is our Earth. So sunlight is falling onto the surface of Earth, and it gets reflected from the surface of Earth. It gets reflected from different infrastructures, from water bodies, from land, etc. So that this is the reflected heat ray. Now this reflected heat ray is being absorbed by the carbon dioxide gas, right? And carbon dioxide could be absorbing this reflected heat, and thereby it would be increasing the temperature of Earth, right? And hence leads to global warming. Okay, then there's one more question, that how does deforestation cause droughts and reduction in rainfall? Just give me a moment. I have an important call coming. Yeah, sorry about the interruption. Yeah. So where were we at? We were talking about this, how deforestation can cause droughts and how it can lead to reduction in the rainfall. Yes. How it is going to lead to draft, or basically later the process of formation or conversion of a land into a draft is called as desertification, which we are going to learn in a moment. But first of all, do tell me how deforestation would lead to drought and reduction in rainfall. First of all, you guys try, and then I will be explaining.
Sir,
I'm
when
guessing is
we
because of soil erosion.
Okay, that is one of the reason. Okay, this Alif.
when we cut down the trees, uh, like there is evaporation is like it will be raining like that. If we cut the trees down, if there is no rain, it leads to dro- uh, like that desertification,
Okay, okay,
cutting them.
okay. Gauri.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. How deforestation can cause drafts and reduction in rainfall.
So like when we cut the trees, so like the place became more warmer, or like it get heated, so
Hmm.
it can like lead to drought. So that what do you call, evaporation will not happen, and it the like so the waters will not like form clouds, so
Hmm.
it will not rain.
Okay, okay, good. Okay, everyone have mentioned some of the reasons, some of the reasons why deforestation can lead to drought and reduction in rainfall. First of all, you need to understand what is drought in itself. So it's a prolonged dry period in a given area where there would be no rainfall for a long period. It could be up to few months to few years. Right now, see, a given area had no rainfall like 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. Huh? So that would lead to desertification in that area. Huh? So initially, what would be happening first of all? Like in deforestation, you are cutting down the trees. So when you're cutting down the trees, so thereby what would be happening? First of all, percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that is going to increase. That will lead to a phenomenon called as global warming. So thereby overall, heat will be increasing. Temperature of the earth is going to increase. And you know that different organisms, like there's a temperature in which living organisms can survive comfortably. Like if the temperature of a given area were to exceed 45 degrees Celsius, it becomes difficult. Like for us also, a temperature above 42, 43, or 45, or around 50, it is very difficult for us to live in a comfortable manner, right? So thereby what would be happening? Like water would be drying up, water bodies would dry up in a given area, right? Furthermore, we know that when there are no trees, thereby transpiration will also not take place. Hence, water cycle is also being disturbed, right? So first thing is that the temperature of the earth is increasing. Second thing is that water cycle will be disturbed because there are no vegetation. The water bodies are being drying up, and hence no evaporation is happening. So thereby there will be no rainfall. And if this happens for a prolonged period of time, like for few months, for few years, so thereby the plant will also die. Plants would be drying up, getting it now. So we know that plants absorb water from the soil, and it releases that water into the air via transpiration. And it is this moisture in the air which eventually turns into clouds and returns to earth as rainfall. But due to desertification, what we have observed that the global warming is happening, hence temperature is increasing. Thereby, water bodies would be drying up. Plants would also start to die. Furthermore, water cycle, you guys would have studied about water cycle, obviously. So water cycle is also going to get disturbed. So there would be no rainfall. If there's no rainfall for a prolonged period of time, so thereby all the vegetation of that area is going to die. Even not just vegetation, the animals are also going to die. As you can see, so many dead cattle are there. They have died due to thirst. So that will eventually lead to a conversion of a fertile green land into a drought, into a desert. Right now, so drought is a condition. It's not a physical place or something. It's a condition now. It's basically a prolonged dry period in the natural climate cycle that can occur anywhere in the world. It is a slow onset disaster characterized by the lack of precipitation. Precipitation basically refers to water, rainfall, resulting in a water shortage. Right. So it's a dry period for a very long period of time. It can happen anywhere in the world. And it's a disaster, but it's a slow disaster. It happens slowly. It's not like it is going to happen in 1 month or 2 months or in just 1 year. Getting it, Alif, Chakrika, and Gauri. So if there's main causes of deforestation of drought is lack of rainfall. So rainfall and drought is connected. No rainfall, thereby it will lead to drought. So it would be and so shortage of water can have serious impact on the health of the plant, animals. Also it would be impacting if there's a community living in that area. So if there are farmers living in that area, so it would impact the agriculture also. Not just agriculture, economy of that area will also be impacted. Environment, energy, everything will be impacted. You guys getting it now? Further, there's a question that what are the human causes of deforestation? What are the human causes of deforestation? Hmm? Human causes of drought, I mean to say. So there are various reasons of due to human activities also drought is happening. Like same reason, like here also if the plants, if the trees are being cut down by the people in order to procure land for agriculture or to build a factory in that area, then that would also lead to drought over a long period of time. So hope you guys are able to relate with what we're discussing. Then question comes how people yes. Okay. Yeah. Shakrika is here now. Gauri. Okay. Sundus hasn't joined today. Neither has Khadija. Okay.
Yes,
Then this question is that how are people impacted by drought? Question is that how are people impacted by drought? So there's a risk of famine, obviously. Like for example, this tribal people, for example, he would be dependent upon the agricultural land, upon the crops. His food needs are met by the agricultural land. So if there is no agricultural land, I mean to say that if there is no trees, no crops, so there would be obviously there would be shortage of food now, right? So there would be shortage of food, hence that would lead to famine. Famine, you guys understand, when there is no availability of food, that situation is called as famine. Also, if there is no sufficient food available to people, so they would be suffering from a condition called as malnutrition. Basically, when your diet lacks the proper amount of nutrients, when it lacks the proper amount of carbohydrate, proteins, vitamins, fats, minerals, etc., then that condition is called as malnutrition. And due to this, the persons or the newborn babies would be suffering from several deficiency disease, like it would be anemia, it could be goiter, it could be scurvy, it could be marasmus, or it could be poor vision. Hmm? or it could be rickets, in which we see that basically bones bend, bones become softer. Also, there would be no access to water, or even if there is availability of water, the water would be not clean. It won't be um, like, what do you say, portable water or drinking water, right now. So without access of food, without access of clean water, so what would happen? It would become very difficult for the people to survive. Also, there could be an increase in diseases also, because if this person is suffering from malnutrition, so he's prone to be prone to so many diseases. Further, drought can cause wildfires also. Can you anyone explain how it can lead to wildfire? Yes, how drought can cause wildfire?
Sir, heat.
Yeah, heat is there, right? Heat is there, wind is there. So if the plants are dry and there's a wind blowing in that area, so due to friction between the branches of trees, it could trigger a fire, it could trigger wildfire. Furthermore, people are also forced to displace from a desert. People are also forced to migrate to other regions in search of work or in search of better living conditions, right now. So that is the thing. Hope you guys are understanding how people are being impacted by draft. You know, so the most negative impacts which we have discussed, that people could be there would be a crop failure, hence there would be crisis of food. There's a crisis of food, so that would lead to famine, that would lead to malnutrition. Also, the businesses and trade business or other business or other activities of people are going to be getting disturbed. It might lead to poverty also. Many cases we have instances of mass migration of people. People will be migrating at large numbers from one area to another due to draft. Okay, now. So hope you guys have understood. If there's any question in this, please do let me know.
No, sir.
Okay. Furthermore, there was an important paragraph I would like one of you guys to read regarding biodiversity loss. Like deforestation is leading to loss of biodiversity also. Right now, you can see that these animals like this bird, this bear, or this sloth, or this ape, they are dependent upon forest. Right now, their livelihood is dependent upon forest. So that is also being disturbed. So about 31% of Earth's land surface is covered by forest. About 31% of Earth's land surface. So deforestation is going to directly lead to loss of biodiversity. Because just imagine 31% of the surface of land is covered by forest, so it would be inhabiting millions of species of it would be inhabiting millions of species of organisms, isn't it? So when you cut down the trees, so thereby it poses a danger to the different type of species of animals, different type of species of trees. So animals would be losing their habitat, or animals unlike humans, they can't relocate now to other places. Like for example, if someone loses their job or someone is forced to evict from a place, so he has the means of transport, he can relocate to another city or another country. But animals don't have such facilities now, so thereby ultimately they are going to become extinct, they are going to die at large scale and they will become extinct. It can also lead to disappearance of so many species of trees also, right now, because deforestation not just impacts animals, it impacts trees also. There are so many trees that have gone extinct. Okay, no, there are so many trees that are gone extinct nowadays. So hope you guys have understood this. So to sum up what we have discussed so far, also one more thing, yeah, you need to understand about this thing also. Like in the animation, what do you observe? There's a transition of this land from being fertile and greenish to turning to a draft, to a desert. So this process is called as desertification. So desertification is basically formation of a desert. It would be a formation of a desert by erosion of vegetation, basically loss of vegetation due to harsh weather conditions, due to deforestation. Right now, so human activities like deforestation or improper irrigation would be responsible for deforestation of a given place. So when a fertile land full of vegetation, which has got forests in it, it converts into a desert due to soil erosion, due to deforestation, right now, or due to irregular irrigation of that land. So that is called as desertification. It is, in simple terms, it is conversion of a fertile greenish land into a desert. That is desertification. Yes, Alif.
Sir, what's the in the tree 15.3?
15.3.
In the
15.3
tree.
of this 15.3. I'm not very sure about it. Maybe it holds some meaning. Okay, no? Maybe it holds some meaning. Okay. Also, there are so many species of trees in the world that have gone extinct. Moments ago, I was telling you right now. Furthermore, this is leading to global warming also. Here you can see this is the annual temperature local records for the year 2015. So this over here, the one that is shown in this color has recorded the highest temperature, extreme high, then very high like this, and recorded low temperature like this. Blue one shows the areas on the earth which recorded the lowest temperature. So one thing you can see that the areas that are that are close to the tropics, tropical area, close to the equator, like the area that lies in the range of 66.5 north to 66 and south latitude. You guys know about latitudes, right? This is
Sir,
Tropic
where
of
is the
Cancer.
India?
Our India particularly would be, let me tell you, this is supposed to be, this is North America, South America over here. It is over here. Let me zoom it out. This is Australia now. This is Australia. Over here, our India is. Okay. Although it is not visible in this image. You can identify it from this fact that this is Australia and somewhere
Sir,
here,
so India
India
is
is there.
so hot.
Yeah, India is also hot right now.
Okay, sir.
So this is the Tropic of Cancer. This is your Tropic of Capricorn. These lines, hope you guys would have studied about this in geography. And this is your equator at 0° latitude. Right, Chakrika? So you would observe
Yes.
that the areas that are found close to the equator, this region, by the way, is called as tropical region. The region between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, this 66.5 latitude, that is called as Tropic of Cancer. This line that is that passes at 66.5 north latitude, that is called as Tropic of Cancer, and this line that passes at 66.5 south latitude, that is called as Tropic of Capricorn. So the area lying between these two lines, that is called as tropical region. And you would observe that generally the temperature of this region is higher as compared to other regions. Okay. Why that is happening? Because most of the population resides on this area. You will find very less density of people living in this area. For example, here you have the Siberian desert in Russia. Yeah, you have Siberian desert in the Russia. So that is like talking about Russia. Most of the part of the Russia is inhabited. So there would be less activity here. Hmm? Or talking about like the polar regions, it is not inhabited by the peoples. Only few scientists go there for research purpose. So the thing is now that wherever there would be less human activity, so there the temperature would be less. You can find certain areas like this. This is basically what? This is Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Oceans. huh? So wherever the oceans are there, so there also you'll find the temperature would be around average. There would be average temperature. The reason being that there is no human activities done at a large scale on water bodies. So hope you guys can understand wherever there would be a increase in human activity, that would lead to global warming. So global warming, it's a term that is used to describe a gradual increase in the rise of average temperature of Earth. Not just Earth. I mean to say, in the Earth, we'd be talking about the land also. We'd be talking about ocean also. We talk about atmosphere also. And global warming has lead to change in the climate of Earth. Greenhouse effect, we'd be discussing about it also, but just let us summarize what are the consequences of deforestation we have discussed so far. So we learned that deforestation can cause it can lead to increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. What is the current percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Anyone can tell me? What is the current percentage of carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere?
Sir, is that 0.4 or 5?
It's not 0.4 or 5. Anyone else? Yes, Gauri and Chakrika. What is the composition of CO2 gas in the atmosphere? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is it is around 0.04%. Okay, now? How much? 0.04%. That is the composition of carbon dioxide gas in the atmosphere. Okay, now? And this has increased. Almost there has been a increase of 50% since the start of industrial revolution. When industrial revolution happened around the world, at that time it was close to 0.02%. So there has been an increase. Like if you were to go to the 18th century, 17th or 18th century, at that time it was almost half of this. It was around 0.02%. But then you know that after the mid of 18th century, industrial revolution started to take place in different parts of the world. Human activities started to increase, and that lead to increase in percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So hope that is clear to everyone. Furthermore, we learned that it could lead to loss of biodiversity, and that main reason for loss of biodiversity is destruction of the habitats of organisms found in that area. We learned about it would lead to drought or desertification also. Right now, it would lead to global warming as well. Right, we'd be learning about this hydrologic cycle, or simply water cycle in detail in the next class, and how it can lead to soil erosion also in the next class. So hope you guys have understood it so far, whatever we have discussed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are a few questions I'd like to ask from you guys. Do tell me, what are the first of all, you guys define ecosystem. We talked about it in the previous class also. One after another, one by one, define ecosystem, starting from, let's say, Chakrika.
Yes, sir. So basically, an ecosystem is a community of living things like plants, animals, microorganisms, like that. So basically, it's where a community where all of these living organisms live in a certain area. So yeah, I think that is what ecosystem is.
You have lacked one thing in your definition. I will be telling about it in a minute. Yes, Alif.
Yes, sir.
Sir, ecosystem means all together, like animal and like lithosphere, biosphere, and all together.
Okay.
Not
Good.
biosphere, hydrosphere.
Okay. Gauri?
So ecosystem is like a particular area where all the organisms, living organisms meet.
See, basically, I won't say that they meet. You can say that, but the proper way to define ecosystem is that it's a system which should include all the living organisms. It would include plants, animals, and microorganisms of an area, and also the physical environment. Like as you were saying, that you have hydrosphere, you have lithosphere, and atmosphere in which they live. So it's a system which includes the living organisms and the physical environment also in which they are known to be living. Getting it now? And in the ecosystem, various living organisms would be interacting among themselves. As you see that they meet with each other, so it's kind of an interaction between them. Right now, they would be interacting with each other via food chains. It's not like just like you visit your friend, to meet them. Not in that manner. The interaction is taking place among themselves via food chain. One is eating another. That kind of interaction is happening. Getting it now? So it talks about the living organisms and the physical environment, and also the interaction that is taking place between them right now. So hope that much is clear. If there's any
Yes,
question
sir.
in it, please do let me know.
No, sir.
Okay, we'll be continuing from the next class then.
Bye, sir.
Yes, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
you're
Bye,
welcome.
sir.
Yes, bye. Yes, Suleiman. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Welcome, sir. I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. I'm also fine. Okay, so we were